G'day, ladies and gentlemen. 50,000 Bitcoin have been moved from Mt. Gox wallet, which explains the big red buy button. I have 3 predictions for what happens next. Trump publicly destroyed the dreams of many by announcing that he is in fact not considering either J.Dimon or L.Fink for Treasury Secretary. What is most bizarre in regards to this is first reported via mainstream news, and now Fox is running with the story of Bitcoin as a strategic reserve asset. We'll show you the receipts. Bitcoin Magazine, they're in talks with Kamala Harris to have her speak at the Bitcoin conference, which is insane. RFK, Trump, now Kamala being there. We'll see what is going on. In regards to something going on, Coinbase, more users are reporting large hold times on moving their assets. The EU wants all citizens' assets added to a Norwegian database. Australian Energy Minister has said nuclear is risky because it undermines investments in renewables. This is not about clean and green energy anymore. There's so much going on. Let's dive straight into it. So the Flying Raven, keeping track of the Mt. Gox trustee wallet Bitcoin balance. July 1st, 141,686 Bitcoin. Come down here, July 12, 138,984. July 21, 89,816. And then we have 66 just under in the background. It's not so bad. We'll dive into my predictions, but this is what's going on. 42.6 thousand Bitcoin did move to a new wallet address. We'll dive into it, but this is my quick prediction. The sooner Mt. Gox creditors dump their Bitcoin, the better. Here is my predictions. 1, no more than 25% will sell their corn. Number 2, Bitcoin does not go below $59,000. Sorry to the 58K gang. More likely to stay around 62 to 64,000. Number 3, by late August, we've forgotten about all of it. Number 4, I'm probably wrong on points 1, 2, and 3. Number 5, those who just follow their plan, buy, stack, and chill will be the biggest winners. We'll come back to Mt. Gox. In the meantime, Mario, Trump, I'm not considering J.Dimon or L.Fink for Treasury. I don't know who said it or where it came from, perhaps the radical left, but I never discussed or thought of J.Dimon or L.Fink for Secretary of the Treasury. Source Truth Social, Donald Trump posting that himself. And then Dennis Porter here with this huge breaking video. Fox News and CNBC report Trump poised to announce Bitcoin strategic reserve in Nashville. It's sped up. It's a little bit hard to listen to, but 6 seconds.
Bitcoin conference where Trump is expected to give the keynote speech on Saturday, with some speculating he could announce plans to create a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve. Bitcoin conference where Trump is expected to give the keynote speech on Saturday, with some speculating he could announce plans to create a U.S. Bitcoin strategic reserve.
Somebody hit fast forward on that one, so we played it twice. Shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. If you can smash the like button on your way in and hit subscribe if we vibe. We're going to come back to this, but let's dive a little bit more into Trump squashing people's dreams in regards to J.Dimon or L.Fink. As Treasury Secretary, 78-year-old Republican nominee responded to reports suggesting he was considering the 2 financial CEOs for his cabinet. July 23 post on his Truth Social platform, Trump said neither Dimon nor Fink was part of his plans for a potential cabinet if he were victorious in November. He seemed to contradict an exclusive report released on July 16 by Bloomberg Businessweek, whose team sat down with Trump in June. I don't know who said it or where it came from, but I never discussed or thought of J.Dimon or L.Fink for Secretary of the Treasury, said Trump. Little bit bizarre on that one. Wonder where the information came from in regards to that. Bloomberg reported that Trump had said he had considered Dimon as Secretary of the Department of the Treasury on July 20. The New York Post reported that the Republican nominee was considering Fink for the same position. CEOs weren't always bullish. Dimon has previously expressed anti-crypto views, including saying digital assets were exclusively used for criminals, drug traffickers, money laundering, tax avoidance, and he had shut down crypto if he were in government. Fink recently said he had changed his views on Bitcoin, shifting from being a crypto skeptic to calling the coin digital gold and a legitimate financial instrument. So I have no idea what's going on. Can anyone shine any light on who's wrong here? Trump, the New York Post, or Bloomberg in regards to that? Flipping gears, Bitcoin Magazine are talking with Kamala Harris to be able to attend Bitcoin 2024 conference. CEO David Bailey is in talks with Kamala Harris campaign for her to speak at the event. They're making up their minds today. Dare say political suicide if Kamala does not show up. I do want to know what she's going to say. It's not like she can come out with a bigger announcement than Bitcoin being the strategic reserve asset. Is that what Trump's going to run with? We do not know. Be pretty interesting to see RFK, Kamala, and Trump all on stage together having a bit of a panel fireside chat. That's something I'd be really interested to see how they grok about it. Bitcoin news, Mark Cuban says advisors close to Kamala have reached out to him about crypto policy, so they are taken a little bit seriously. I'm getting multiple questions from a camp about crypto. Obviously, Cuban crypto fan. Anyway, he said Tuesday, so I take that as a good sign. The feedback I'm getting, but certainly not confirmed by the VP, is that she will be far more open to business, artificial intelligence, crypto, and government as a service. And government as a service? No, thank you. We'll dive into government as a service in the EU very shortly. But Bitcoin, it has come down a little bit from about 68K down to just under 66K as Mt. Gox moves 130 million to Bitstamp. It's been a little bit more than that now in the last 24 hours. But Bitcoin traded near 66K as defunct exchange Mt. Gox started to move its latest tranche of the asset to crypto exchange Bitstamp, which has previously led to sell-offs in the broader crypto market. Same day, I believe the ETS went live. I'm not sure, but I assume they did. They were meant to today. Mt. Gox dumping on the market on the same day, a little bit poetic in my belief, and I'm pretty happy this is happening sooner rather than later. Arkham data shows Mt. Gox transferred over 2.85 billion worth of Bitcoin to a new wallet in the early Asian morning hours on Tuesday, then sent over 5,000 Bitcoin worth 340 million at current prices to one wallet, another 37,000 Bitcoin worth 2.5 bill to another wallet. It was really nice receiving that 37,000 Bitcoin into my wallet this morning. I wish. I'm sure everyone does out there. But the EU, dystopian. This is all wheeling. Nobody wants that. Obviously, Bitcoin does protect you from this, so don't panic. But it is a little bit insane for the everyday person who is still asleep to the power of holding digital property rights within Bitcoin. The EU wants to build a comprehensive database of assets owned by all citizens. Focus online. What's behind it? Check this out. What are the EU's reasons for introducing the asset register? Let's bring this picture up. Full screen. Isn't this scary? So the EU justifies the introduction of the asset register mainly with the need to combat money laundering and terrorist finance. It always comes down to that, doesn't it? It's the talking points. They're listening to J.Dimon on that. They're tracking our assets of Russian oligarchs. The Russian OGs is also cited as a reason. Of course. Critics, however, fear that the register could be misused in times of crisis to use citizens' assets to pay off debt. This concern is not unfounded as historical examples show that the asset registers can be used for state intervention in times of crisis. Balaji chiming in here. The EU is bankrupt and preparing for asset seizure. That's why they're building this registry. What's coming is not just inflation, but confiscation. This is how they bail out the central banks. If you are paying attention and you haven't started reading the books on Bitcoin, please today, now is the time to study Bitcoin at all costs. This is getting serious, but you can protect yourself and you can watch the clown show play out. But the Financial Times here, bailing out central banks, the QE program hangover. And if you scroll down a little bit, Balaji has reposted the archived post there. But which assets are recorded in the register? The register could contain a wide range of assets, including real estate, bank accounts, securities, vehicles, and possibly works of art or precious metals. Art, precious metals will be interesting to see. That's the store value of the wealthy, the current elite. Maybe they're going to keep that off. I don't know. The story is just unfolding. The exact list of assets to be recorded will depend on the results of the feasibility study and the subsequent legislative decisions. If you're in any position of power in the EU, do whatever you can to stop this very dystopian. The aim is to create a comprehensive overview of citizens' assets so they can confiscate them at will, they can track them, they can tax them. Tony, again, obviously, we've had some more cyber attacks. It looks like the server for an IT system that's in some way tied to the Pentagon or the White House has been hacked in the last 24 hours as well. It's not slowing down. It's just a part of life. We live in a digital age. But as I've said many times, cyber attacks my ass. This is how they plan to destroy your lives. The next cyber attack will lock you out of your bank accounts. You're up against criminals and thieves with zero moral compass. They don't give a damn about you. Opt out of fear and into the only hard money that no one can take away from you. Bitcoin in self-custody. Post is no longer available, but Tony, I got in there and I got it before it was taken down for whatever reason. It's so important to be paying attention. If you need any help getting Bitcoin off the exchange, we'll dive into Coinbase. Reach out to Tony and the team. The first 30 minutes is free. They can help you the whole time. The biggest thing is they can help you run a node. One of these things to be able to be your own bank, not leak your IP data, not leak how much Bitcoin you have, to be able to protect your digital assets from the state with what's going on in the EU. If you need any help, reach out. The team is simply the best. Link at the top of the description. ETFs, Bitcoin, huge volume, and it's pretty interesting. We're still down in the dumps, eh? No, not really. 66,000, 65,983. It's all gravy. This is good to see. Nice healthy correction. 62, 64, that's the price range that I'm thinking. That's nice and healthy. 59, if it happens, it's still good. If the 58K get their day, good on them. It's another opportunity to be able to buy cheap sats. But $1.3 billion for IBIT and almost $2 billion for the 9 in price volume. Wall Street's not sleeping. It'll be interesting to see what happens Saturday with Trump, now Kamala and RFK at the Bitcoin conference. Traditionally, Bitcoin price has tanked during the Bitcoin conference. Is this time different? They're pretty dangerous words. We will see. My plan is not to trade it, just to buy, stack, and chill. If there's any great dips, to be able to buy more. But I truly don't care whether it's at 58,000, 65,000, 74,000, 100K. It's still gravy. With what's happening in the EU, that's why I believe so much in Bitcoin. It fixes this. Swan yesterday, we broached the subject a little bit more has come out about him. This no BS. Bitcoin Swan cancels public listing plans, rolls back mining business, cuts their staff. So there's a little bit more in regards to it. Magoo, PhD. For everyone confused why Swan is reducing their workforce while Bitcoin price is near all-time highs, Swan was aggressive with their spending due to the assumption retail demand would accompany the ETF approvals. Unfortunately, that did not happen, and retail demand for direct spot ownership is still lukewarm compared to expectations. They are making the needed expense cuts in order to ensure their runway until retail demand returns. Hint, ETF flows have not been from retail at large. Pretty surprising. Just shout out to everyone watching live, watching the replay. If you are just jumping into the chat, smash the like button. Shout out to Jackie, A Buddy, Retro Beaver, Habib, Black Swan Swimming, Mr. Android, Unknown User, in the house, Gargoyle. It is good to see everyone. We'll get into a little bit of a banter at the end of the show. But this is Coindesk.com. Swan Bitcoin drops IPO, cuts staff, and will shut down managed mining unit. Bitcoin financial firm previously planned to go public by end of this year. Bitcoin financial service firm Swan pulled its plan to take the company public, discontinued managed mining, cut staff. Swan CEO Corey Clipston said in a social media post that the company will still offer Bitcoin financial services and free Bitcoin education without the expectation of significant near-term revenue from our managed mining unit. We're pulling our plans to IPO in the near future. Accordingly, Swan is pulling back from our accelerated spending plan for our core financial service business. Unfortunately, this includes staff cuts across many functions, he added. This happened about the same time that was released yesterday. I don't know if ocean mining hash rate has gone back down. It dropped about 70% rapidly on that news. I don't know if Swan was directing their hash rate at ocean. My assumption would be yes, they were, but I don't know, and I don't know if it's rebounded since. The Sphere actually happened. Pretty interesting. Hey, obviously degenerate casino advertising, but they were still sending the Bitcoin signal. Pretty cool to see the dome lit up. Let's get rid of that audio there. It's pretty wild, hey? The dome. I think The Simpsons warned us about this. And have you seen the picture of Lisa Simpson in the blue dress with the pearl necklace next to Kamala Harris in the purple dress with the pearl necklace? It's insane. The Simpsons, they just catch on to everything. I can see 100 Air Kamala at the Bitcoin conference is not bullish. Bitcoin, left, right, green, red, blue. It really doesn't matter what the government thinks. They're not coming to save you at the end of the day, whether it's Trump, RFK, Kamala. Just hold Bitcoin in self-custody. It really doesn't matter. What's really interesting, though, is has entered the geopolitical stage. Let's dive into the price quickly. But yeah, I agree. 100 Air with you. 65K, 615. It's up a little bit. 65,970. Since this morning, in the last 24 hours, though, we have dropped from 67,935 with the low of 65,494. Big deal. Not really. $2,000 a day. These things happen. We need to get used to them, enjoy them. This is where the signal's at. Block height 853,624 sats per USD. Look at the symmetry. 1515, 1,515 sats per USD. Still feels like it's going down. And it is still going down. It's going to continue to go down forever. $1.3 trillion market cap. Last block 4 minutes and 1 second ago. Mempool still clogged up. 209,000 unconfirmed transactions. I believe the fees are nice and cheap at the moment as well. Anytime 4 sats per VByte. So make the most of it. Do some UTXO management. A little bit close to home here in Australia, we've got this big energy debate. The reason I bring it up is because Bitcoin miners use so much energy. The world, for humanity to be able to advance, uses so much energy. We're going across and moving fast ahead with this green agenda. They're talking about sending. I think it's been approved as well. This big floating thing that has like, I don't know, a couple of hundred wind turbine blades, maybe not that many, but it's this like big wall of razor blades out in the ocean. They want to float it. It looks like it's all coming down to the money, and they're saying that as much themselves as well. Oz Integrity, here it is. Nuclear is risky because it undermines investments in renewable energy. The only way that would be true is if nuclear had better and more sustainable economic returns over renewables. There you have it, Labor engaging in fraud. That's what Chris Bowen, the climate change and energy minister, had to say. I'm not sure why they just won't let the free market decide. Don't give any government handouts and just let power companies build out and offer us cheap electricity. Have Bitcoin miners come into space, be able to subsidize it, help to be able to build out the grid. But anyway, Chris Bowen, over to you, man.
So what we know is that nuclear power is risky. It's risky because it undermines investment in renewable energy. It's risky. So what we know is that nuclear power is risky. It's risky because it undermines investment in renewable energy.
It undermines investment in renewable energy. It's risky to their agenda, to their profit line. That's my opinion. What are your thoughts in regards to it? Nuclear, wind, solar, it doesn't really matter. Just let the free market decide, not be a burden on the tax holder with high energy prices. Now, checkmate. Need to get him back on the show when I come back from Victoria next week. But it is really hard market to read. I also have a net bullish bias and I couldn't find too many points of risk. And yet, S still feels on a very thin tightrope. And the weirdness of politics right now doesn't help. This in reply to TXMC. I'm long perps from 56 and still think the most likely move is a draw to 72K. At the multiple equals high there. Also mentally prepared for a lower high and continuation of the multi-month descending channel hashtag Bitcoin, and then people down below Bitcoin Super Bowl. Bitcoin is going much higher. 100% agree over the time frame. Not sure. The cheaper, the better. Remember, please get your Bitcoin off the exchange. Coinbase is such a joke. According to David, you have to wait 5 days to spend your USDC after buying. Yesterday, we saw Lawrence Lepard had Bitcoin on the exchange. Don't know how much. He said it was a small little stub there. Small little stub. Lawrence Lepard's probably still a pretty big stack. Either way, having Bitcoin on the exchange, it's not yours. He's been held out for 90 days, I believe. Other people for 30. Today's the day to be able to start that process, because maybe you can't get it for another 90 days. Metaplanet, they obviously did a couple of buys last week, one this week, but they are partnering with Hosky to verify their Bitcoin holdings. Will be good to see. It'll be interesting to see if they put a wallet out there that we can verify as well. India, moving over from Carl B. Menger, they've taken on $51.4 billion in short-term debt to cover a shortfall in deposits. It's the highest debt level in 12 years. The reason why I bring that up is this is happening everywhere around the world. The bank's not in a safe space. The EU trying to track citizens' assets, everything. Something's going on majorly in the world. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But it costs very little to be prepared for it. And then if it does happen, you're sweet. If it doesn't happen, Bitcoin's still number go up. Technology over time. So pretty scary, happening everywhere. And I brought this up for a little bit of fun. I was trolling Janet Yellen yesterday, asking if she wanted to do a podcast, and no reply, unfortunately. But I've arrived in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where I'll spend the week engaging with my fellow G20 finance ministers to deepen partnerships and arrange shared objectives and foster greater cooperation on global challenges. How about no? I don't want that. I'm not sure anyone else wants that either. Just leave it to the free market. Stop intervening. This is what I said. G'day, Janet. Want to do a podcast once you're finished up there. I have a few questions respectfully. Of course, would be great to see greater cooperation with the public on these global challenges. No response. Don't ever expect a response from Secretary Janet Yellen. Wouldn't that be a fun live video though? And it'd have to be live. So that's news with the fast facts. If you hang around for a bit of a Bitcoin banter, awesome. We'll get into that. If you are heading off, do something nice for yourself. There's somebody else out there. Buy, stack, and chill. And smash the like button if you are leaving us this morning. Now, shout out to everyone that is watching live. Good evening to Jackie Ware. Good to see you. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Retro Beaver in the house. Habib. Retro Beaver. Bitcoin will crush ETH once the developers screw up like they always do. Bitcoin will consume ETH in the future. The purest money will prevail. 100%. Agree. Really be interested to see how Wall Street approaches Ethereum. Maybe they see it as a tech play, but in the last couple of years, they've changed their issuance schedule about 30 times, if I'm not mistaken. It's not hard money. It's not even money. That's just fiat 2.0. Again, I'll be chilled. Anyway, Black Swan Swimming. G'day from the Secret Forest. Good to see you this morning. ETH ETF, Mr. Android Troll in the chat. G'day from Wollongong. Shout out unknown user. What is she going to say about Bitcoin, really? Yeah, what is Kamala going to say? Hey, I'm thinking about it. I'd like your vote. Obviously, that's why they're all in here for the vote. But I don't know. Kamala, doesn't she have the deep state behind her? Isn't it just much for muchness? Switch one for another one and continue the same stuff. Maybe there is an opportunity to be able to flip the script a little bit and offer a little bit more freedom bias 4 years on a global stage. That's what I think is more likely under a Trump presidency. We'll see. It's government, it's politics. Does anything really change? Maybe, maybe not. But we can live in hope, hopefully. The EU wants to know what assets you have, but have yet to present their books. You can't make this S up. 100% gargoyle. G'day from Flyover USA. ETS now hold. Wow. I wonder. That's a little bit interesting. It's really interesting when you see numbers and the patterns that are playing out. But what he's saying is the ETS now hold 911,000 Bitcoin. It's Grayscale and Fidelity between them. Is it like 511,000 between the two? Do the rest really hold another 400,000 Bitcoin? I'll need to check that one, Jake. But if so, they've accumulated a pretty big stash pretty quickly. Kamala at the Bitcoin conference is not bullish. No opinion. Hit the like button, people. Greatly appreciate. Simpsons went woke years ago. I've not watched The Simpsons for like 20 years, maybe. But they've called a lot of things. I guess, there's a lot of episodes. They can make a lot of predictions. But are they predicting things or are they programming things would be my question. And I don't know. I'd probably go more with the programming myself. Kamala, then result of DEI. G'day Legends, McLovin in the house. Risky, aka it threatens their profits from green energy scams. But yes, 100%. Devoid entropy, intelligence, the DEI. Simpsons used to be funny. Lightning Goats, good to see you in the house, mate. Jake Thomas, in the business world, the Peter principle is when unqualified are promoted and destined to fail. I politics is known as the Peter's principle. I politics is known as the Peter's principle. I'll have to Google that a little bit more. Jake Thomas. These been epic if Janet, that'd be epic if Janet responded. Wouldn't it be crazy to have her on here? It would have had to have been a live show for sure. Couple of questions that I'd like to ask Secretary Janet Yellen. I won't read that one. Crypto Gator, Red Day, what a lovely time to stack. They do just buy, stack, and chill. No APU equals no Simpsons. How's the new book you started reading, Sean? So good. The Resistance Money, it's epic. It's a really cool book. If you're looking for a book to read, Resistance Money is well worth your time. That's news with the fast facts. Real short, quick one today, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button. We'll be going live. Been getting these podcasts back that will be dropping next week. Absolutely insane. Some really high-level conversations. There's one or two really on escaping the Matrix, but we'll save those for next week. We'll see you there, and we'll see you tomorrow. Same time. Be blessed. Peace.